All right, nerds. It's the boys cast today. We don't have Nito here, so you guys are stuck with us three. But today we're going to be talking about RLCS news. We're going to talk about all the people, missing league play or the old RLCS format. We're going to be talking about Ukraine and esports and what else? Just other Rocket League esports news, drama, 7-Eleven. There's some other thing. Rainey's coaching now. Well, he's always been coaching, but he's got his own website. A lot of really cool things like that. And to kick it off, let's toss this section, RLCS updates, over to our EU expert, Veeds.
Let's go. Well, I don't know where to start really. I mean, you've thrown me in with a whole bunch of different RLCS
APAC qualifier. I know
Tell
nothing about that.
Rocket League, Veeds.
Damn. So APAC, I believe you don't know about this, right, Try?
Not in the
Randy
slightest.
does. Yeah. So for what happens in APAC is there's obviously split into two regions: APAC North, APAC South, and the top two teams go into a qualifier for the majors. And so it was Tokyo Verdy. I can't think what the second team was in APAC North, and then it was Gaming Gladiators, which was Three Rats, which is the team that OSM coaches.
The Pulse team? What, didn't they used to just be called Pulse or something?
They were Pulse last split, but I believe they had to let them go due to just financial issues.
Okay, got it.
Because obviously at that point they're wanting sort of nice contracts, and Pulse just don't have that funding right now. So what happened anyway? The reason why I can't think off the top of my head and why it's not actually that big of a deal, that I can't think who the second APAC North team was, is because they had to dip out basically. They said, right, we can't go to the major, so we're not going to be able to play. So third place.
Wait, what do you mean?
So they've gone through the whole qualifier, the whole split, but they wouldn't be able to attend.
Why wouldn't they be able to attend the major?
I don't know. For one reason or another, they can't attend it.
Ooh.
And I don't know if it's obviously last split, Sandrock could only attend because they had a sub. Otherwise, because Khalid couldn't go, so they might have had to have forfeit if they couldn't.
What?
If they didn't have a sub. So it could be that they don't have a sub. It could be that the whole team can't make it. For whatever reason, they had to drop out. Anyway, so third place, which is a team called Detonators, they took their spot. In round 1, they beat APAC South second seed. Round 2, they beat APAC South first seed. And then in the final, they beat Tokyo Verdy. So they ended up qualifying.
It's like big underdog.
Wait, so they weren't even next up, because next up would have been a different team.
Oh, you're back.
You're back. You know what's a really cool? Nito's not here right now, so you had to be the one to do this.
You've taken over. Holy.
How is Nito still influencing? She's not even here.
Watch her JPEG start glitching out.
Yeah,
Like her
that'd be
camera
hilarious.
in spirit.
So Detonator wasn't even next team up to qualify after the other team had a bow out. So basically, the other team had a bow out. There was another team that should have gotten it, but Detonator just showed up this regional and stole the spot.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been in the qualifiers. Luckily for them, the second APAC North team had to forfeit, and then they just went on and swept the whole tournament. And they beat Gaming Gladiators in Game 5 in a best of 5, and then they beat Tokyo Verdy in the final Game 7 in a best of 7.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so they're going to LA. Tokyo Verdy aren't going to be there. So
wait, why aren't they going to be there?
Because they didn't qualify. There's only one team qualified. So all of the other teams that were in the qualifier didn't qualify.
I thought there was two teams that went.
No. There's one team. So Detonators just came along and just were like, yeah,
what
are you boys going to do about it? And, just took the spot.
I thought it was Tokyo Verdy and... So this is like Sandrock not making it, basically. Because I thought... Isn't Tokyo Verdy just like the team?
They were, but I guess
think so.
the issue
might have
is
had a
like the
bad
region
run.
is split into two halves, so it's kind of like if Sandrock were like on one half of like the Middle East, North African region. But obviously that's one region, whereas in Asia it's split into two.
And so do they have to
And-
compete for that spot, basically?
Yeah, that's what the qualifiers for. So both regions, top two teams go into the four team qualifier, and one team goes through.
That's insane. I can't.
And it's just a straight playoff. It's not like a round robin or anything like that. It's
Dude,
just
what
a
if
straight up
Detonator
playoff.
shows up to the to LAN and just gets absolutely shit on?
I mean, I guess it's better if they shit on everyone else.
Well, yes, they would.
I want them to.
That would be
but-
better. You know those freaking mouth breathers are sitting there for this next month just practicing their ass off so they don't get embarrassed at LAN. They're like,
No.
well, right now they're probably shitting themselves that they even made it, but
Yeah, no, they're celebrating. I bet.
the grind is gonna hit, and I mean that's incredible. If that doesn't motivate you, I don't know. There's nothing will. Ain't nothing's gonna motivate you if that doesn't.
We'll have SSG players on the cast before LAN.
What? Why don't they have?
Skycrawler wants to know if we're gonna have any SSG players as a guest.
Oh, I mean, we have never tried that. We probably could.
We
but,
could. The issue with that is, I mean, we could maybe try and get one of them, or even a couple of them, when they're boot camping at the space station headquarters. Because I know they go. I believe they go to the SSG headquarters in like the second week of March.
I didn't know that.
So maybe that week we could see if we could get one of them on.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
When do we get to go to S? Okay, no. All right, I need to channel Nito spirit here. We have to stay focused. All right, we've got topics that we have to hit. So that's the APAC qualifier. That's just some of the RLCS news today. Rainy, please, Rainy, guys, for you listening on Spotify, I'm sitting here trying to wrangle this cast together, and I look over at the Twitch chat, and Rainy keeps timing out and untiming out one person in the Twitch chat like 10
1
times in a
second.
row for 1 second just to royally mess up his browser. You're a troll, Rainy.
He said a D's nuts joke to you, and I'm not.
Oh
standing
no,
for
never
it.
mind. Burn him with fire.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna mess this guy up 1 second at a time.
Okay, so what else
Okay,
is new?
let's continue. What were we talking about?
With RLCS, I see
updates?
a queso is a bullet point. What do we have to talk about with queso? And
Do we want to mention?
why is it so tasty?
Where do we want to mention the update that they just tweeted out, like the new car? Should we talk about
We'll
that
do
later?
that later. That'll be the last.
Okay.
That'll be the last bullet
Thank
point.
you.
Yeah, we'll mention it towards the end.
Right.
And plug our epic creator codes while we're at it.
Yeah, so
So,
Queso's playing well right now.
Yeah, they've come out of nowhere and they're like suddenly the best team in EU.
They haven't come out of nowhere, V. What do you mean?
No. Okay.
This split-
Okay, let's put it this way. Before this season,
No.
they
no.
came out of nowhere.
There's no. They've been like a top, not a top team, but like easily like top 4. I think the past 2 seasons.
No. Yeah, but it's a different, entirely different roster now.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, did they-
So
did
last
they add?
season it was Demenza, Atomic, and VK Salem,
Mhm.
and now it's Joyo, Rise, and Vatira.
Batira. That's one I was.
Whoever
He's
those
been playing
people
really
are,
well.
I just should nod my head and smile.
But it's actually
they're-
mental. Like they're just. I mean, the reason. So before the cast, I mentioned Team Queso to try, and I said they kind of made history this regional, and it's because they were knocked down into the lower bracket from groups,
Yeah.
and they made the full run and won the event. So they made the entire lower bracket run.
Dang.
oh,
Can you
that's
imagine
right.
how bad
Um,
Team Liquid's feeling right now? That
What?
Team Queso is just like completely switching rosters and winning regionals, and Liquid's over here just like hanging on by a thread.
Poor
like-
Liquid. They just can't. They just
Yeah,
can't.
they can't catch a break.
Oh, I'll tell you what's on the topic of like Queso switching rosters though. They made history this season because they were the only team. There's only been 2 teams that have won a regional where none of the players ever competed before RLCSX. So it's happened twice, and it's happened with both Team Queso rosters. So Team Queso broke that record.
That's
twice.
just the name. It's the name,
Yeah.
man.
Team Cheese. Everyone loves a bit of
Team
cheese. so, you know.
Cheese. Also,
We have
I've
the
heard not only
American
is this
player,
the first
too.
time that somebody has gone from the group stages and won throughout and won the entire tournament. This is the first time a lower bracket team has won in general. So even if they,
Wait, really?
yeah, you
We
think about
nearly did it.
yeah,
we nearly
we
did
we damn nearly did, but yeah, even if they like
Yes.
dropped down from the winners finals, went into the losers finals, and played them again, no,
Well, I
they're-
feel like that's kind of like a silly statement though, because we've had so many format changes. That's not like as crazy
well, I meant this
as it
split,
sounds.
this split,
Okay, the split. Got it.
but yeah, and
We nearly did it with Daniel in Daniel's first ever event. That'd have been mental. That'd have been like ridiculous.
yeah,
if that had
as
actually
as
happened,
nice
but-
as it was, yeah, if we had finished the deal, it would have been great. But yeah, so Queso apparently is just insane. Are they the number one seed going into the major?
Yeah, they've finished.
really?
So this regional, they've won 2, and then the one that they didn't win, they finished second. So they've been pretty dominant. Even BDS were like BDS before this regional. Queso and BDS were like pretty similar on points, but BDS finished 9th through 12th.
Ooh.
They were nearly knocked out. No, they had a tiebreaker for first and they lost that. They got reverse swept in the tiebreaker for first in group. They lost that tiebreaker and then lost in lowers round 1.
Wow.
Wait,
So they had a bit of a rough regional.
why isn't seeding out for the major yet? Haven't all teams for the major been confirmed?
They've all been confirmed. They've just not made it public knowledge as to what.
What, the
group
seeding
they're
Wikipedia,
in.
they have a section called Unofficial World Champion, and right now it's Team Queso. I guess that means like they have the most points,
That's no,
What is-
that
or
can't
are they
be
just
right.
trolling?
They're probably just trolling.
No, surely NRG has the most, no?
Coin for different esports titles.
Yeah, NRG definitely would. But okay, so the seeding's not out for the major yet because that's going to be a whole topic in itself when we
Yeah.
get to it because that's going to be. Oh, I think we're lagging. Hold on, we're lagging.
Oh, it's just whoever like won the
Oh.
last tournament technically.
I'm gonna give this a couple more seconds to even out before I lower our bit rate, but I think we're good.
Help.
Oh, I'll tell you what we've not got on here actually, and it's before we go on to the next couple of topics within the RLCS updates. I just wanted to touch on the whole Vitality situation because now there's rumors floating around that Fairy Peak's going to be on his way out,
Yeah.
and apparently he said on stream yesterday that he might not be. But that team
he's
needs
still
to
in
make
talks.
changes. They went 0 and did they go 0 and 3 or they went 1 and 2 in groups, I think. Maybe it was 0 and 3. They came bottom of their group again, and they didn't make it to the bracket. So that's 2 events in a row, I believe.
No,
that they've
so they're a top EU
not
team. Now think of what happened with Cloud9, where they didn't make finals one time, and they're like, "All right,
Yeah.
we're dropping the team."
Yeah,
but
And
Vitality's
like,
that's a different
that's-
situation.
that season with C9 and G2, where they both like almost got relegated down to RLRS. That
Oh
was
my
kind
gosh,
of mad.
that's
but
crazy.
The difference with that is that back then it was like 8 games in the season, 9 games in the season, and that was it. And then you went to Worlds, and there was 2 Worlds. Well, see, that doesn't make sense to me, right? And this goes perfectly into the next like subtopic, like the whole thing of like there being 2 world championships a year like it used to be.
Yeah, it made no
That
sense.
Never made sense to me. So, but obviously, then they bounced back after that, and well, C9 didn't, but the players did.
Well, also C9 broke up because I mean,
C9 dipped. They bounced from Rocket League.
yeah,
They
it's
bounced
probably
back.
because I
get
mean,
it.
as much as they were paying their players, they just couldn't afford it. It's like at that time, you know, there was so little Rocket League being played that it just the exposure wasn't worth. I mean,
They would need to win Worlds to make
Yeah.
it worth it, basically.
exactly, and. I mean, at the time, Psyonix was not transparent about the esports scene. And
Yeah.
we kind of
Or
know
about
why
ways
they
to
weren't
fund.
transparent. And that's because they were coming up with this whole brand new thing and they didn't want to say anything about it because if they changed it last second, like the orgs would riot. But they could have at least told them, we are working on... They could have at least said, the prize pool is going to be more than doubled. Like,
Yeah, like,
they
that probably
they
would've
could have
been
done at least that, and the orgs would be like,
And it
okay.
really was.
It was quadrupled.
For an entire year, which is back then you got to think was 2 world championships. So for the time frame, it was like doubled, but yeah.
No, it was quadrupled. Like over the course of a year, it was quadrupled. Like prize pool used to be $1 million for an entire season, and then it went to $4 million.
Yeah, but it used to be 2 seasons a year. Though,
no. It was for the entire year, right?
Ah, fair enough. I don't know. I'm just doing. I'm trying to calculate it in my head now. But if that's the case, then yeah. I mean, either way, like
if you guys could keep math out of the cast, I'd appreciate it.
Rainy.
And even now, like even from last season to this season, the prize pool's gone up like another 1.5 million.
Yeah, but that's because they added new regions. But yes.
Yeah. But those regions make barely anything. I don't know if you saw like 3 Rats or Gaming Gladiators. They've won 6 regional events, and I think they've made less winning 6 regionals this season than a top team in NA or EU makes winning 1 regional. So the money isn't as much as there's extra money in the like lesser regions, as people like to put it. All that 1.5 million definitely isn't there. But it's because you've got more majors. You've got, well, not more. It's the same majors as last year, but you know what I mean?
Just like more money being pumped in.
More at stake now.
And I think we know, I mean, this is kind of a tangent to another topic, but we'll get to later. It's just, I think all of the financial decisions that have been made since going free to play have been bringing in the big bucks. Like with the item shop. I mean, the item shop was out before free to play, but the item shop move, I'm sure that's bringing in way more steady revenue than the keys and the everything were.
Yeah. And then sponsorships as well. We're seeing more sponsorships.
Huge amount of sponsorships. Mm-hmm. They're getting those going left and right. And there was another thing I thought about today where I was like, or was it yesterday?
I think the sponsorships are just going in to pay for the lands, though. I'm not sure if that's like going beyond that too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going in
regionals
esports.
had its own somewhat. Like I don't know if. See, that's confused me a bit. Like, because they're giving like every regionals had like a different name, right? And they've had like a different color scheme
sponsorship
on like their green screens and different sponsorships. But for some of them, it isn't actually clear what the sponsorship is. Mm-hmm. Like when they did the mobile one or whatever, however you say it. It's American, so however you guys want to say it, but they did that like Mountain Cup where it was like the last NA regional. Mm-hmm. But then with the EU regionals, it kind of isn't that clear what the sponsorship is, or if they're just trying to make it seem more appealing to the European audience, like giving it a European name.
Oh, what was it called? Rainy, you have to turn your headphone gain down. I can hear Veeds twice.
I'm sorry.
Or just put your headphones away from Mike.
Yeah.
What was it? Dude, I don't watch EU.
Copa de Rocket League. That was the latest European
That's not like a sponsor or something for EU?
I don't know. I would assume there's got to be something, but I don't know if they're just trying to make it more appealing. They've had like the Apollo Cup, which there was no like.
It's got to be associated with the brand.
It must be, but I don't know. It's weird. They don't really put it out there, which you would think. Usually, in other esports, when you see another esport is sponsored by a certain company, a certain tech company, or certain whatever.
Yeah, and their logos everywhere.
Plastered everywhere, and you don't really see that. All we get is the bloody strawberry jam it adverts between every series.
Oh my gosh, the Verizon commercials make me. They're so bad. Wham it, slam it, strawberry jam it.
We're getting kind of off topic. I think.
Yeah, we are. Okay.
Twitch chat loves that. Though.
We've been stuck on this one for a bit.
Twitch chat pops off when you see that advert. I'm not
because it's so. You know what? The ad's working. That's what's crazy.
Works, but it's terrible.
The ad is working because we're talking about it. So okay, tangent. Back on topic. I think this.
It was going to be a good segue, but then
and then we went way too far. So guys, now we've got to talk about something that's going around the Twitter sphere. And everything. Rainy, why are you on your phone? No, okay, we're staying on topic.
Yeah, you keep talking.
People are wanting league playback, and I don't understand it. I think it's probably one of the worst takes I've heard. I
know why they're saying it. I know the sole reason why they're saying it, but it's Well, from a player's perspective, I guess I don't know, but I know from like all the other people that have been jumping in on it, from like a viewer's perspective, they're just looking at the viewing numbers, like the peak of the last two events, the last EU regional, last NA regional, the viewer peaks have been averages have been way down, but even at way down, like EU was still like a consistent like 50K, which is like still
NA average was down too.
Yeah, I think NA average was about 65K.
What?
But the whole talk of it from a viewer and player perspective is that the players and viewers are just getting burnt out of. There's just too much Rocket League. You're seeing the same players, same teams against each other all the time. It doesn't have that same sort of like back in league play when you saw G2 against C9 or NRG against. Whoever, like big teams coming against each other. It was like once a season before Worlds.
Yeah.
So that it was like a really hype matchup. But I don't know. I would hate for league play to come back personally.
I think people are romanticizing what
league
league play was.
It was awful.
And they're not really. I heard some people, on top of that, they were asking for RLRS back. Which they were like, because, at least then you got some attention when you were a bubble player. I'm like, nobody cared about RLRS. I could not have named one RLRS team.
How do you get more attention in league play as a bubble player?
That's what I'm saying.
If we went back to the old format now, there would be players that you would consider out-and-out pro players in RLRS every season.
And people... I watched esports a little, and I still considered RLRS the stepchild of Rocket League. You don't have a team.
No one used to care about RLRS.
Yes.
Let's be real. Nobody. The viewer did not care.
Whereas randoms just shows up into the scene for one day, or for one tournament, and they do well, and all of a sudden, those three players have clout to their name. They're like, they have the peak potential to get to... Day 2. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. On the right circumstances, they got to day 2 of a North American regional. And not many people can say that.
Unless they did. The only way that I could think that they could do some kind of league play is if they still did splits. So it's still a 1 World Championships a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do 3 splits. And at the end of each split... you can either get promoted into RLRS or you can get promoted into RLCS and relegated from RLCS.
No, they didn't take that out.
But they can't be like you only play 9 games every split. It has to be like an intense amount of games. But I just don't know how they could. Realistically,
they have to split the difference. Is what it is. It's like the.
Yeah.
League play format was great, but even I, as a viewer who have invested interest in watching, esports and Rocket League, nobody wants to see a bracket reset best of 7. I know, or not as frequently.
Get that out of here. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Not as, okay, because people are like, but what about when Cloud9 did it? It's
it can be good,
but that was one
tournament.
Not. And that's back, again, when Rocket League was so scarce that, even a... so then, when the bracket reset happened, it was like, it was new. Now, it's like, Jesus, F and H. Nobody wants to see that. Even when Space Station, I remember feeling this. Regional 1, when they were coming from the bottom bracket up, was like, I remember thinking... God, if this is a bracket reset, we have another hour of this match to watch.
I've had that same feeling before.
And it was like, it was terrible. I think the fair thing to do instead of having a bracket reset is if you win, especially as fucked up as this format was, you already get a major advantage by going into uppers because you're 3 series ahead of everybody else that went to lowers. In the finals of this, it's just this format that sucks. When you get to the final, you should just have a 1-game advantage in a best of 7.
I don't even agree with that.
You think it should just be a regular best of 7?
Yeah, because you've gone through a group. You play 3 games in groups, right?
Yeah.
And or you can even win a group based on a tiebreaker. Like they don't even. I swear they don't even take like game differential and like head to head into. Like that just doesn't come into play for some reason. It feels that way anyway. Like you're looking at the groups and you're like, hey, this just doesn't make any sense. So a team can go 2-1, win a tiebreaker, and then suddenly they're top 6
Yeah.
or top 8 or whatever.
It's the
And then
format
you win
that
one
sucks
more
us.
game and so you can go 3-0 in groups, and you only need to win 3 more series to win the whole tournament. Whereas someone that finishes second has to play 7 more series, win 7 more series in a row to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So for the team that's gone through, yeah, they've done all right in groups, but
I want a Valorant format where you have to get like to 21 games, but every game has a max goal score of 3.
Rainy,
I wouldn't like that.
You have to get to 11
Rainy,
games
some of your
to win.
ideas,
The thing
not
is,
bad.
I don't know if he's
That
trolling or
one-
not because I'm looking at his camera and he looks super like straight
What do you
face.
mean? What do I look like, Beats? What do I look like?
You just, this, like,
I thought
just
you had like a legitimate idea, Rainy. That's
But
you
I
look
was thinking
serious.
of like a different format. Like they never utilize the first to X amount of goals. Like you have it in mutators. Why don't you use it for league play? They could probably implement that somehow.
That's too drastic.
Like my
of a
idea is
change.
stupid, but like if we're looking to find ways to change things up and like make things shorter, like long overtimes don't have to be a thing.
I mean, I know it's different because in like other esports sometimes and like more real IRL sports, you don't get bracket resets because there isn't a lower bracket. Or as far as I don't know a sport that has an actual lower bracket where you have to win
that's
2 finals.
true.
You don't get. Imagine going to the Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl and then having to win another Super Bowl.
It kills the hype.
It would be so stupid. So I just, I'm just. Oh, Randy.
Ignore the chat. I'm sorry. I was trying to spam something else.
Oh, okay. You're
I was
killing
trying
it.
to spam my first message, and I just put
You just
the space
shouted
station
out
link.
Space Station, which we're currently live on. Guys, Rainy,
Guys, click on that link.
guys, Rainy is if Nito was here. If Nito was here.
Yeah,
She would be raging so hard.
Oh man, guys, you just wait. Next podcast,
unleashed.
Nito guaranteed is going to be talking about what I did to our little
Oh, no.
our cheat sheet that we have all of our like bullet points on. The bullets, they're all different, tabbed out now. It's so bad. Like it's so hard to
Spam
read.
the tab button.
I couldn't figure
spam
out how
the
to get
tab
it
key.
formatted right. I honestly should tweet out this because it is an OCD person's nightmare.
Don't go back to school.
Yeah, but basically the old format, too few games, but every game felt very important. Now there are way too many games, and I mean, but some people are saying that the concept of having 3 playoffs to make a major is also kind of weird in itself because it's like that's really tedious to have. Like imagine in the NBA if they had 3 tournaments just to get into the main tournament. It's like nobody would watch that.
Yeah,
Right?
instead, but in NBA, don't they like do like stupid amounts of head-to-heads? I don't
know.
really cover it, but don't they like have to play each other like in a best of 7 or something? Or they play each
They
other like,
do.
back-to-back
I think
games?
they do. So does what's that sport? Baseball. They do that in baseball.
What's that?
One sec.
But in football,
Well, no. Go on, sorry.
but in football, football is league play, and it's. I think you play 16 games in the season, and then
You get a bye week, which gives you an extra game for some reason. I don't know what that's all about.
what, a bye week?
No, not what the bye week's for. It's for the players to have a break, right? But I don't understand why it's a bye week. Why does that? It gives you an extra game on your stats, right? Because you play 16, but your record is up to 7. It adds up to 17. Charlie?
I don't think so.
Am I tripping?
I think you're tripping. I'm pretty
Am I
sure.
tripping? Has that ever been a thing? I swear it has. I swear
I
it
don't think so.
guarantees you a free win. I don't know.
That'd be weird.
But
But so
this, if this format just there's so many issues with this format. Like Swiss is perfect, right? You play you play either anywhere from 3 to 5 games on the Friday, because it's Swiss, so you can go 3-0, or you can go 2-3, or 3-2, or whatever. You need to win 3, you're out. You lose 3, win 3, you're through. Lose 3, you're out. But then it's just an even playoff. Just have one single bracket for playoffs. 8 teams go through. It's based on seeding, so first plays 8th, and so on and so forth. And then everyone's on an even playing field because they've all qualified. So how you get there, as long as you qualify, you should be on an even playing field.
So are we just saying, because nobody had this discussion first split. So do we think most of the gripes people are having are related to just how terrible this format is in general? Or do you think
it's this specific format that people don't like?
Everybody hates this format.
It's so good.
It doesn't even make sense for groups. What other like game or sport do you know where three out of 4 teams go through?
Yeah.
And only first seed goes through into a separate bracket. Like, I don't know, it makes no sense. Just have first and second go through and then do a top 8 like Swiss.
Yeah. That way it's all on even. That way if you make the playoffs, it's even footing. Because right now all it did was it was so scuffed. And here's the thing, you could win a group by going 2-1. Technically you could win a group, I think, of going 1-2, depending on how the games shook out. I think that happened.
Oh, yeah, groups just got announced. That's good.
Wait, groups did get announced?
Yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Guys, this just in.
Group D.
This just in.
Breaking news.
Yeah, we've got breaking news here. Groups are out. Liquipedia hasn't updated, but let me check the official Rocket League.
We're in the easy group.
Shit. Are we?
Any group that we're in is the easy group.
Are we in an easy group?
Wait, it's RL Esports that tweeted it. I'm an idiot.
Are we in it? Oh, no. Oh, detonator, like we talked about at the start of the podcast.
Oh, dear.
We were like, oh, yeah, they've gone through, right? Like this underdog team. Now they can go enjoy land. They've only drawn into a group with Team Queso, FaZe Clan, and version 1.
Wait, what? Let me see. Okay, guys, I'm just now getting this pulled up. All right, so the group that Space Station is in, we've got. Oh, son of a bitch! Guys, oh shit! It's been a good time. It's been a good time here on the cast. We've got Dignitas, Sandrock, Pioneers, and us in Group D. Oh fuck!
You've got to remember though. Wait. You remember though? Pioneers is an OCE team.
Isn't it the best team in OCE or one of? Because they get 2 teams.
Nah. Don't be hating on my boy CJ like that.
Okay, I don't follow OCE RLCS feeds.
No, I think Renegades
the top
came
2 of each of these makes it to, like out of group stages, right?
I cannot believe.
No. So top 3, it's the same.
Top 3.
So it's only bottom place doesn't go. As long as you go 1 and 2, as long as you win one of your 3 games.
Yeah.
The very worst you can do is have to go into a tiebreaker with the team above you.
Oh my god! So in our group, Dignitas and Sandrock, both really good freaking teams. Sandrock, that's scary. Pioneers, I don't follow OC RLCS, but they're mad decent. And then us, Group C, we've got G2, BDS, Team Secret, and Evil Geniuses. So that's
like a bit of a weird group, because I look at that and I'm thinking, right, G2 and BDS realistically should comfortably be first and second, and in any other situation, like I was saying, in this type of group format, it should be 8 teams go through. But they're obviously only one of them's going to win their matchup. So actually, for the team that doesn't come top of that group, it could be kind of sketchy, you know, like if you slip up against EG, because I'm pretty sure EG, if they haven't beat BDS this season, they have come close. And then Team Secret, that's a big one. I don't know if we talked about it.
I don't know who Team Secret is.
They picked up, I can't think what the team that they were on. It's a South American team.
Okay.
I know the players, but I can't think. I don't know what the actual team was before. But Team Secret's a massive org. So it's nice to see another big org enter Rocket League.
Oh gosh. And each one of those orgs is pretty big, right? Is BDS a big org? I actually don't know. Or is it just the team?
BDS are pretty big, yeah.
So every org there is huge, because Evil Geniuses is a big one, right?
EG's big, yeah.
So this is something we talked about on the last cast. Sorry, we're kind of getting off script here, but this is important news. We talked about this last cast, that people are going to go to this event, and some fandom is going to be horribly let down. Group C, that's gonna be pretty huge. Every one of those orgs is massive, so that's tough. Group B, we have NRG, Endpoint, Renegades, and how do you say this one? Furia,
yeah.
I
don't know about Renegades, but Furia, Endpoint aren't a massive org actually. They're reasonably sized, but they're not massive.
How do you think they're going to be any sort of competition for NRG?
Team wise, it depends, because I've heard that. Wait, you on about like going actually on the field head to head?
Yeah, I mean, like
it depends how, because
this group seems to be the easiest from
Endpoint
others.
are nasty. No, Endpoint are really good, but it just depends on again how they do on land. Because obviously NRG have.
Are we always in Group B?
I feel like
I think we have we were in Group C, I think, in the very first regional, but it does feel like
we're always in Group B.
Yeah. What the heck?
That's probably because of how we're always 4th or 5th in North America, because we can't seem to get the break into
maybe
the top seed.
I mean, if it's anything like Sweden, realistically, Endpoint and NRG should be good, and then Renegades and Furia, because the OCEans
they're
and
fighting
Sam
for that
teams
3rd spot.
They really didn't show up that much in Sweden. But Furia and Renegades, they're both capable. So it'll be interesting.
Group A? Oh my gosh. If you guys are listening, Group A, Team Queso, FaZe Clan, Version 1, and Detonator. We were just talking about Detonator.
Poor Detonator.
We were just talking about them. Oh, these poor guys. They're going to show up and get absolutely fucking massacred. Oh my! Version 1 has gotten so good too.
You never know.
What do you mean you never know? Detonator, their name says it all. They're about to get fucking bombed, bro.
No, they're gonna show up. Just you wait.
I mean, let's put it this way: Detonator, this split were 3rd in APAC North. In the fall split, Tokyo Verdy were dominant, and then they went to Sweden and got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
So really, and that wasn't even in a group format.
Poor Detonator.
But because it is groups, the thing is, in groups, if you slip up against a lesser team, someone that you should be beating, which is quite obviously anybody can slip up, or anybody like a lower team can pop off. Suddenly you find yourself in a really tricky spot. Whereas compared to Swiss, you have time to bounce back as long as it's not in the Series 5.
And Group A is here's the thing. This might actually work in Detonator's favor, because
No, it won't.
No, wait. hold on here. Hold on. Well, because Queso, FaZe, and Version 1 are all so good. Like, Version 1 could lose a game against FaZe. FaZe could lose a game versus Queso. You know what I mean? Like.
Detonator's like 20 hours in the future as well. They're playing in LA. Their sleep is going to be all kinds of messed up. Because
they'll
they're going
get
to
there
be full, almost like, I mean,
they get there early in boot camp, right?
Their sleep will be messed up, but they'll be like
jet
a
lagged.
whole day behind. So it's like, because I believe Detonator's full team is all Japanese.
But you don't see a scenario where Group A consists of a 2-1 team and then like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I don't know if that math adds up.
I would expect FaZe to go 3-0.
Really?
Because this is the other thing, right? As good as Queso have looked online, they've not been at LAN. And then Version 1,
true.
Realistically, they look really good, but I mean, it's FaZe.
You gotta remember, this is everyone's first time at LAN, basically. Like all these teams haven't really been to LAN. Besides,
No, but
like,
I mean, they've been to Sweden. Like, FaZe went to Sweden.
true. Yeah. very well Sweden.
V1, I don't think Com's ever been to LAN. Beast Mode hasn't. But obviously, Torment's got a ton of LAN experience. So he should be able to, like, you know, get them. And Fireburner is their coach, right? V1?
Yeah.
So he should, like, he's got a ton of experience.
I'm
so
sitting here trying to hope for Detonator, but because here's the thing, nobody wants Detonator to win either, because nobody wants to see version 1 or FaZe Clan or Queso go home. It's like they're the underdogs that people don't want to root for. Like, I mean,
imagine I might, you know, because there'll be somewhere like, and I don't encourage this for anybody to do this. I'm stupid. Don't ever follow in my footsteps. I might have to place a little bet on Detonator. Coming out of that group.
Big money.
Now I'm not saying don't do it because it's Detonator. I'm saying don't do it because I'm not trying to promote gambling or anything like that to anybody.
But if they make it out, that is, I mean, odds.
They're such an underdog right now.
I might have to like make a little.
Oh God! But if you're
Vegas on the way there, you know.
The pressure from Queso and FaZe Clan version 1 though, when they play Detonator, like if Detonator practice, they've still got like a month to really.
Who are they gonna practice against? What sort of practice realistically
is going to prepare them for the team they're about to play? Yeah,
they're going to just beat all the teams that they beat on. They're just going to scrim the teams that they clapped on the way to the qualifier through the qualifier.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That's the issue with the APAC regions, is that they just don't have. They're so far removed, like geographically, that they can't get the practicing.
Group A is the most stacked group, I think, in terms. Even, I mean, our group is pretty stacked. Because we've got
B might be, actually, personally, but only because I'm looking at Renegades and Furia. They've both got a little bit of LAN experience, and it makes Group B a more. But
we have Sandrock, who is like, who got.
Well, they've only been to one LAN. Remember, they popped off in Sweden, but that could have been like, who knows? Again,
they had their sub in Feeds. They had their sub, and they got to like top 8 or something, or top 6.
Yeah, but he wasn't just their sub. For like 2 years, he was on the main roster with
still,
you know.
Dude.
In fact, it was our calendar. Yeah, so they if you look at it that way, if that kind to contradict what I've just said, TRK, who was their sub, I believe, before that, was also in the team. So it was kind of like they were playing with like a bit of a half team, if you will.
And so what I'm saying is, like, out of all the lesser regions, we have the best team in our group, or the best team from the lesser regions. Like, people legitimately think Sandrock could win a tournament like this.
Yep.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And it all depends who we play first, because realistically, you don't want to play. I feel like you don't want to play Dignitas first. But if this is the actual seeding, we probably will, right? I would imagine it's first seed.
No, but for viewership and stuff, Psyonix wouldn't do that. What they would do is they would put, because they always put the spiciest matchups later. I've noticed that in group stages, the best matchups are always later. So we'd probably go.
But if they're streaming every match, they probably want to start it off with a juicy one as well to get like.
I don't know. I just know when Rainy and I are casting group stages, it's always us versus FaZe, us versus the other best team is last.
Yeah.
Or the one that's got the most drama. Like, you know, they definitely do that when they're juicing up the broadcasts and stuff.
I have a feeling that it's going to be done based on, because every single game is going to be broadcast, right? Because these groups are over they span 3 days.
Or 2. Or it might be 3. I don't know. Yeah, they are going to broadcast every game, I think.
The issue the thing that I don't quite understand is, or I'm not aware of, is obviously on the Friday right now we have lower round 1 played, but I would imagine they'll want in person. Like, it'd be weird to go there on the Saturday and some of the playoffs to have already been played, you know, not in front of a live crowd. I feel like all the playoffs should be in front of the live crowd.
I think so too, but
And the streams actually with this format, I don't know if you realise, the streams are pretty short on all 3 days, but especially on the Saturday and Sunday, there's not actually that many games played, so they could squeeze in those extra games over the 2 days.
I hope so. All the Rocket League we can throw in. Okay, guys, that was a pretty big tangent.
We've actually. We could actually finish the podcast there if it was any other day with the amount of time we've been talking.
Yeah, because without Nito, we were like, this podcast is going to be so short. What are we going to do? And now we've got all this. We had all that juicy stuff to talk about. Okay.
Troy's just avoiding spending time with his wife. He's like, today
yeah,
is
this is my
Wednesday.
one off day, by the way.
And now you're like going 20 minutes over topic.
Yeah, listeners, I have one off day where I don't stream. Yeah, Veed said it. I call it Waifu Wednesday, and it's a day for my wife. She's been wanting to go to a coffee shop, and she thought, because there was a chance we were going to cancel the podcast since Nito couldn't be here, so she was like, if that happens, we can go to the coffee shop early. And I'm like, we're still going to podcast. Sorry, babe.
Yeah.
Okay, but I will transition to the next topic. If you guys want to keep up with more of the esports news like that, follow us on Twitter and ask us questions. Add us. We'll respond. We're pretty good about that stuff. But now we're transitioning over to some juicy world stuff going on. Ukraine and esports. Obviously, if you don't know this, Russia invaded Ukraine, and that happened this week. And everybody in the world seems to be rallying behind Ukraine, except for what appears to be some random people on Twitter, because what is it? Blast, which is apparently a CS:GO organization or something. They are not allowing any Russian-based organizations to compete at their CS tournaments and for the foreseeable future until Russia decides to pull out of Ukraine. And whereas most of the world seems to be because everybody's sanctioning Russia and everything because that's the only non-violent way that we can protest what is going on, because it puts strain on Russian businesses, and the only people that have Putin's ear are the rich upper crust in Russia. So that's why people are sanctioning and doing these things. And a lot of people are saying leave politics out of esports and stuff, but I think it's a pretty good move when you think about it, because even like real IRL sports are joining this, and FIFA is not allowing any Russian club to compete in international events until this is resolved. And part of the reason that this happened was because at first they tried to pull in Olympics with it. They were like, all right, Russia can compete, but they won't use the Russian name. They won't have the national anthem or their flags present at the games. And then I think the International Olympic Committee was like, don't do that, because they did that with Russia when they got caught in their doping scandal. And then Russia was, and so they're like, this needs to be more severe. And then, but apparently, Veeds, you're British, you care more about soccer than me, but Russia was supposed to play Poland, and the head of the Poland football organization said we won't play against them. Like, we just won't show up to the because it's the qualifier for the World Cup. And so, yeah, it seems like a pretty popular move, just like in sports in general. I
know, I've not heard. I didn't hear about that personally, but one thing I did hear about is to do with football is Chelsea's owner, Roman Abramovich. He's Russian, and apparently he's quite close to Putin, and he's put Chelsea Football Club, which is a massive, for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know if yourselves know.
They're like one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world.
Yeah, and he's put them up for sale because I believe it was our government basically sanctioned something against him.
Wow.
Because he has such close ties with Putin, and he's put the club up for $4 billion
Ooh.
something currency, pounds, dollars. I'm not sure. I would assume pounds, but it might be dollars as it's more maybe globally.
That's insane.
But so yeah, there's a ton of stuff going on, and
so what do you guys think is putting sanctions through esports the right play though? Like I can understand like other sanctions, but esports, like, is that really putting any pressure?
Yeah. So these,
it's all finance, isn't it? Really, it's all money. It's
all
about
money, and that's the only way that companies can help. Because here's the thing: when the Russian stock market and the ruble and everything are cratering right now because of all of these sanctions.
Okay, I kind of see where
and so Putin has all this pressure put on him by his own people because they're like, what you're doing is costing us so much money. Yeah. And it's the only way to get the attention. And it sucks. Like, I'm not going to deny it sucks for the players. Yeah. It does. Yeah,
but I feel bad for the people that genuinely don't agree with what's going on, that are like Russian citizens or anyone that's affected by all these different sanctions because of it. The ones that are actually completely against it, I feel bad for, because they're just trying to live their lives. They're trying to work at the end of the day. It's like any professional esports player.
Yep.
It's their job. It's their career. And they're being affected by it. Now, anyone that's on a big org is probably, their contract and stuff won't be affected by it. But if you can't physically do your job, you can't compete, you can't do what you want. Same with football. If you're just a good Russian footballer and you've done absolutely nothing wrong, you don't agree with it, then it does really suck.
Yeah.
And I do feel bad for them people, but I feel more bad for,
Ukraine,
other people that it's affecting. So
yeah, and it's the thing.
Without getting too much into that side of it.
Yeah, we don't want to. We're getting a little political here, but we're just responding to the esports news because a lot of people seem to be like, but what about the gamers? And it's like, yes, we understand. Like, obviously, it's not ideal, but it's the only peaceful way that people can support Russia pulling out of Ukraine. So we just briefly wanted to talk about that. If you see more news like that, try to take a step back and think about this is helpful. Like it's not like a lot of people want to say immediately jump to like, but the gamers didn't do anything wrong. It's like, obviously the gamers didn't do anything wrong. They were holed up inside their house with no lights on, playing CSGO 20 hours a day. It's the businesses that continue to finance this kind of stuff. Slightly related news. Very related news. Ukraine org Navi tweeted out, Navi, listen. That's all I can think of. Tweeted out that it has cut ties with ES Force Holdings and Virtus Pro and a bunch of other Russian companies because they've like denied what's going on in Ukraine basically. They had ties with with Navi, and they cut ties with them, and that's pretty big news. Obviously Navi's got other shit to worry about right now, being a Ukraine based organization. But I think we talked about that topic enough. Let's move on, because we went way overboard with RLCS stuff. And besides, it's getting a little heavy. I don't want to, that's definitely the most we've talked about politics on the podcast before.
No politics.
Yeah, no politics.
Nito's gone one day.
Nito's gone one day. We mess up the cheat sheet.
Nito's going to absolutely hate us.
Nito's going to be like, I literally just can't take a week off.
This is the guys cast.
But yeah, anyways, moving on. Next topic, because we've got a bunch of other cool stuff going on. And we have to speed through it because my wife will kill me if we don't get to go to our coffee shop or her coffee shop. So the 7-Eleven rewards, if you guys haven't seen them, right now, the only thing that's out is that Slurpee Boost, which sounds a little bit like this.
Just like that. That's it.
You guys are welcome. Didn't know you were gonna get ASMR today. But it is, and it's rainbow color. So the color changes as you use it, which is cool. You don't
wait. On the topic of that though, you know how you use a you sometimes use like backers mod like rainbow color things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like decals or do you use your neon lights as well, your underglow?
Yeah.
Next time you have it rainbowed, I just want you to take notice that the colors don't sync up. You're welcome.
You son of a bitch. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's gonna trigger. It doesn't. So it won't rainbow the same colors. Oh, that's some bullshit.
Bakis, get on it. We
Bacchus
need a
mod.
modder to come fix that.
We need a fix for that, please.
Imagine
Jesus.
how satisfying it'll be.
The son of a bitch. All right. Well, I can't use that boost with rainbow car. That's cool.
I don't even know if it doesn't.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What if it? You know what's crazier? If it does sync up. If it does sync up, that means they just used the rainbow car plugin on that particular boost. They were just like, we'll just copy the code over just for this boost.
Imagine.
So the thing I'm pissed about, and I've got a sponsorship with 7-Eleven, and I still can't get the freaking cups.
Are the cups just a myth? Are they actually just a myth?
One of my viewers has gotten a handful, and he lives in Indiana. So if you're listening in Indiana, apparently there's some 7-Elevens there that have these fucking cups. But he posted a picture in my Discord with him and all the new Slurpee cups, and they're thermochromic. So when you put cold fluid in them or ice or whatever, they change color. And we talked about this last podcast, but it is the only Rocket League merch that has been out in years. Because they usually only have merch at the LANs, and we haven't had any of those.
Or the merch store that doesn't exist anymore.
And yeah, in a merch store that doesn't exist. So I go to this 7-Eleven every single day since this thing's been announced, and I always ask the people at the cash register, "You've got the Rocket League cups yet?" They're like, "Nope, still not." At this point, I don't even think they check.
Did they at least say to you like, "But we're expecting them"?
No. They said we haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's
of course not.
Bin it off then. Just bin it off. Like, do you not getting them, Trey?
It's not happening.
Just get your viewer or your mod or whoever you said it was in Indiana to send you one. You know.
When they come in stock, though, I am walking out with armfuls of them. I'm buying 10 of the Slurpee cup, 10 of the big.
No, you know when you
cup.
see like bartenders when they're collecting glasses and they have them stacked over the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be me.
Just do that with Slurp. Yeah, walking into land with them on your shoulder. You should do it.
You see, Troy, I have a few of those cups. How much are you willing to pay
to
get one of these?
You do not have any. You would be.
What? Let me just pull it out of my back pocket right here. Look what I have behind me.
Randy's got like a full cup of it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Troy. So
$100.
But anyways, yeah. So I want those cups. If you guys find them, and you are in Texas. Well, just tweet at us anyways if you find the cups. But if you find those cups... I'm not leaving
America without one.
Veeds is like, I swear to God, if I don't get one of those cups. But yes.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Oh, wait. Rainy?
I have food at the door. And someone's going to take it. I need to get it. I'll be real quick.
It comes with a
Talk about cups some more.
Okay.
I know you can do it.
You think he was dissing our cup talk. I think he really was.
You know what
there.
We need to do? In LA,
what?
If we can get our hands on enough of the cups, we need to play beer pong with them.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Beer pong Rocket League edition. Would be thermochromic or whatever it is cups.
That would be honestly that clip S tier. That would be a clip I could see just like gift in the future. What else was going on? Oh, the boost. It sounds obnoxious. It looks cool. I equipped it just as a meme, but now I'm using it, and I've gone up 70 MMR. So I'm not taking it off because at this point I don't want to break what's not.
So now the boost.
I want to fix what's not broken.
First it was, everyone else under the sun.
And now I'm afraid of changing my boost. What other esports do we really need to cover? The other is there? Oh, the one thing we do have to cover now that he's back. There was that thing with artisan builds, but we've gone way over for what we're supposed to today. The one topic we need to cover still is Ranny is now offering private coaching. He's got his own website. If you guys are, is it just for 1v1s or is it for?
It's still just gonna be for 1v1s. I might branch out later.
To spam in chat.
Oh yeah. Hold up.
Well, yeah. Let me do that. Wait, that's not. How did I get that copy?
Rainey, I honestly, for you guys listening on Spotify,
the Space Station one.
Rainey just went ahead and managed to fuck up shouting out his own website. I swear to God, Rainey, what is wrong?
The thing is, I can type it out. It's Coach-Rainey.
No, I've got it, Rainey. Don't worry, buddy. No, don't you worry.
Here you go.
No.
Just keep spamming it. Anyway, are you gonna plug it, or are you just?
Yeah, let me plug real quick. So I have been doing group coaching for the GCR for the past 6 months, and I am moving away from them and building my own website. The website just got finished. It's coach-rainey.com. So I'm going to be doing group coaching, 1v1 coaching, and I'm excited to get back into group, like running around group calls, because I really enjoyed it with my previous coaching gig, and I hope it takes off because it'll be fun.
Yeah, if you guys suck at this game, Rainey doesn't suck at this game. He's actually really, really good at it. I highly suggest, and especially if you value getting good at the game quickly, because a lot of people take forever to get good because they have to search through all the bullshit on YouTube. Rainey's
and
already
usually
done that.
Because they pick up bad tendencies and bad habits that they don't realize.
So many bad habits.
Yeah.
After 10,000 hours.
Boost over ball, is that probably a big one still?
Yeah. So someone replied to my tweet announcing it, saying, "Hey, or you could just go watch YouTube videos." I'm like, well, yeah, that's literally what I did. I watch YouTube videos. I watch streams religiously. I put bajillion hours in. I played in competitions. So like I have all the experience. But even with that, I still regret not getting coaching when I was like 1,000, 2,000 hours into the game, because I've had to fix so many bad habits. I could use my time much better than I did.
Exactly.
If I had like someone kind of pushing me the right direction.
Rainey has already gone through all the struggle of finding the information out, figuring out what the bad habits are. That way he can just tell you. That's the entire reason you get a coach, is so you don't make dipshit decisions.
And there's so many of them in Rocket League. I swear to you, you are probably anyone here watching is probably making some of those decisions, like bad mistakes.
I mean, you can watch the best teams in the world in RLCS, and they make mistakes. You know, you can see it clear as day when you're watching, but obviously in the moment, they aren't aware of it, or they sometimes they just thought the play forces it. But somebody in chat said that there's YouTube for that, but the issue with trying to watch these coaching videos on YouTube and mimicking them and learning from them specific or solely is that no one is there watching your gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's and it's not personalized to cater towards your needs.
You could be getting some bad information, honestly, from getting coaching for someone else. Well, rarely, but I could see that happening.
Or YouTube videos
for you two, and this kind of just proves the point. How many coaching videos have you seen on YouTube that contradict each other about rotation?
I've seen plenty
all the time. Or camera settings. When I was doing my research for camera settings videos, I found one of KevPert that's still out there.
That's a throwback.
Where KevPert recommended camera settings where your angle was like -8, so you could see over the top of your car while you're dribbling.
There's like a meta with teaching, because like so many videos are outdated now with Rocket League because everything's just been learned from scratch.
Yeah,
because it's such a unique game.
Back in the day, though, KevPert, like he was
great.
Oh yeah.
He was so.
I mean, so
his tutorials still, a lot of them still hold ground, even though they're like 5-6 years old now.
You could tweak them and they would still be.
His camera setting tutorial and his dribble flick tutorial, where he recommends those camera settings, I hope that isn't misleading people still, because that's a very common impulse when you're like starting to learn flicks and stuff. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go and change my height and my my distance so I can see over the ball when people are challenging. It's like, no, you just need to know when people are challenging because you don't want to fuck up all your other camera settings just for that one mechanic.
And this is all just talking about like general Rocket League stuff and like rotation, but something that's unique about me is that I'm only coaching 1v1s. And there's really very little information out there. I think the best place besides coming to me would be going to probably apparently Jack's YouTube. I've learned a lot from him. Same with Flakes.
Rainy, stop.
But I've compiled as much information as I can and am very willing to teach others from what I've learned.
You can't.
That's the other thing, though, right?
I know I should be plugging them, but
try saying that you plug yourself. This is about plugging yourself. But realistically, Rani or myself or try whoever you want to talk about. Apparently, Jack as like pro players, they're still learning from other people as well. So it's like what Rani's saying is like, yeah, I watch these people, but collaborating what I'm learning from them with what I already know, I'm making something that you literally can't get anywhere else.
It also lets you know that like I'm getting information from the right places too, so you're in good hands.
Just because somebody's a pro player does not mean they're a good coach or instructor or teacher. Matter of fact, I have found that more often times than not, pros have the worst teaching skills because they were just so inherently good at it. They are terrible at articulating how to do something properly. And some of their tutorials, I'm like, oh my God, please. Get out a full sentence.
When you were in school, think about how many teachers that were trained to, I mean, not use the word coaching, but they are teaching you everything you need to know, just the same as a coach would teach you in Rocket League. How many teachers did you hate when you were in school and you were like, this guy don't know what he's on about? So it's the same thing, like, but there are a few people out there, but Rani's definitely up there. So,
hard vouch.
Okay.
Okay.
We're pretty over time.
We're over time. I've got to go to this coffee shop. I've got to shower and stuff, look pretty for my wife and whatnot.
But you already look pretty, Try.
No, stop that, Veeds. Oh my God, it's the new lighting. So guys, what Nito normally handles this last part where we sell out the socials. Follow us at SSG Scuffedcast on Twitter. I know that one. We have a YouTube. Do we have an Instagram? I think we have an Instagram.
Do we?
We post on anchor.fm/SSG Scuffedcast. Oh, that sounds right. I think that's right.
That sounds right. I think that's right.
And yeah, so if you guys missed any part of this podcast or wanted to listen to other podcasts and catch up with esports stuff or just us streaming on Twitch in general, we haven't done a segment on Twitch streaming and how to succeed in that in a while, but we do post stuff like that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.